How did investors understand the growth potential of what's happening with manga in your area?
Well, it's interesting. Webtoon is very new for most investors. Here we have a global business where stories are being consumed not just in Asia where the company started. 60% of our audience now is outside of Japan and Korea. But people don't realize here, even in North America, that they've probably seen a number of films on Netflix or Amazon Prime and soon to be Friday after Thanksgiving on Tubi, actually, where we've powered stories not just on our platform, but we've powered stories that turn into great films and great pieces of collateral and merchandise.
Yeah.
So it's so early for us that I think investors are still getting an understanding of how explosive our global growth already can be. And I think we're just going to have to focus on educating the street quarter by quarter, since we're only about a quarter and a half out since going public.
Let's talk about the future of IP. I can totally see how it transfers onto movies and onto streaming. A lot of your just names of some of the content, I almost think would be a generative AI chatbot. I mean, a lot of them have those sorts of names and likenesses. Is that something you've been plowing into, the generative AI space?
Well, we're very focused on AI, but what's interesting about our approach is we believe in human creativity. We think we are still the best storytellers. But taking our AI, we have 100 AI technologists, been hard at work for a long time, and we may have one of the largest repositories of data around stories, enabling them to take hours out of the process to make sure that their images are compelling, giving them a chance to really be heard by our global audience. We have nearly 70 million monthly active users, and enabling, for example, the 124,000 stories, evergreen stories that come to our platform every day, means that AI can help find the ones that people care about.
David, I'm a 2000s comic book kid, right? I still have the X-Men edition somewhere in my dad's garage. The world's different now. I look at like streaming, the growth of anime. Can you just distill your strategy, particularly for the US?
So what's interesting is our core consumer in the United States looks a lot different than Ed, you and me. It's a sub-25-year-old, female-skewing, passionate
Not sub-25, David.
Or female.
I might be double that or more. But the genres that we power every genre. Let me give you an example. You know, one of the astounding facts is on Netflix. 2 of their all-time top 10 projects came from us, and they weren't the anime and manga you might expect. All of Us Are Dead, okay, that kind of fits with that notion, but Through My Window, which came from a kindergarten teacher, a full-time kindergarten teacher that was enabled by our platform to tell a story that's now reached the world.
Yes.
It kind of shows that we meet our consumers with any genre they want. Just like you love the X-Men, I think that our current consumers, who are much younger than you and me, are finding unexpected stories from all over the world coming to them.
David, those consumers, not just here in America, but in international markets, find themselves in a very different world after the US election. How are you modeling for economic policy around that and doing business across jurisdictions?
Well, one of the great benefits of Webtoon as a global storytelling hub, we don't have to focus for the long term on short-term changes in administration. In fact, in this day and age with all the news that's coming out, I think consumers want a good story, and we're seeing that focus be our guidepost long-term with the consumer. Now, having said that, there is going to be a lot of volatility in FX, and we are benefited by the fact that we oftentimes receive revenue in the same currency that we pay costs. So we have the ability to be transparent with the street, to talk about FX volatility on headline numbers and revenue, but we're relatively immune and can focus on our long-term business.